this. Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of In the Meantime with Dylan Melanson. I am your host, Dylan Melanson. It's nice to see you guys. This is the second episode. I cannot believe I've made it this long. It's incredible. This is probably like the longest lasting podcast I've ever had. So let's keep this show on the road. Speaking of on the road, this weekend I went to Bangor, Maine, which we are going to cover. That's going to be the first thing we talk about, actually. But before I get into that, I just like to address some, not necessarily issues with last week's show, but just kind of inaccuracies and things of that nature. I said this show would be on Podbean, which wasn't the case. It was not on Podbean. I set up my Podbean account, and I decided let's do Podbean, but then I was told I have a 5-hour limit, which means I'd probably get about maybe 10 shows on there, and that'd be it. God knows I probably won't even make it to 10 shows, but I decided that the limit was stupid, and if I did go past 10 shows, I wasn't gonna, I'm not gonna pay to do fucking Podbean, so I think that's pretty stupid. So I decided to go to the next best thing, and that is SoundCloud. So I am on SoundCloud. I am on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Facebook is still a thing I'm thinking about, but I still haven't done that yet. My Podbean, not my Podbean, I literally just said I'm not on Podbean. My SoundCloud, I believe it's soundcloud.com/Project Melanson. I should know this. I really should. I'm going to go look it up right now just to be sure. But I'm almost positive it is soundcloud.com/Project Melanson. And that's right, it is soundcloud.com/Project Melanson. The first episode was posted there, and I will continue to post there. So please go check me out on SoundCloud. Sorry about that, had to take a drink. We're not cutting this shit, folks. So as I was saying, I went to Bangor, Maine this weekend, and we went to go see a concert, and it was actually Lynyrd Skynyrd, which I'm not a big country guy. Lynyrd Skynyrd's kind of like a country rock band. I do like Lynyrd Skynyrd. I'm not a big country fan, but Lynyrd Skynyrd is one of those bands that I like. I like him, not him. I like them. I like Johnny Cash. I like some country, don't get me wrong. Mostly like the old outlaw stuff, but also like country rock is fine. Like Lynyrd Skynyrd is fine. I have a lot of stories to tell about the fucking Lynyrd Skynyrd concert, and we're gonna get right into that. So we get there. The parking is atrocious. We pay $20 American for parking. $20 American is like 27 Canadian, I believe. So that's wild. That's like a lot of money for parking. And we could have parked the $5 lots, but the $20 lot was like right across from the venue. So I was like, not me, but my dad was like, sure, let's go there. So we parked there. Parking was awful. It was just like this fucking dirt, like little area. Awful. Cars right next to each other. We're in this big ass truck, so we take up a fucking huge amount of space. But $20, whatever, it is what it is. So we go in the line. The line is stretched out at least a football field length from the venue down like a fucking sidewalk. It is insane the amount of people that showed up for this fucking thing. It is fucking wild, dude. Like, I swear to God, like, they fucking filled that place, and I don't know what the seating is for that place, but there's like a bunch of seats, there's like a field behind the seats, like, it's the Waterfront Pavilion in Maine. That's where it was, and holy shit, man, they filled that shit up. And we waited in line for about half an hour before we got in. We get in, there's this opening act. She's like, country, but it's like not bad. Like there was a couple songs, and I'm like, hey, this is alright. I actually messaged her after the show, and I was like, hey, you did pretty good. And she's like, thanks. Which I thought was cool, a little acknowledgement. She's not like a big celebrity or anything. Her name's Hannah Basher, or Hannah Dasher, something like that. She's really thick accented, which I thought was a little bit of a but then it's alright. It was fine. So she performed. That was good. Her last song she performed, actually, she ended up turning it into "Shine" by Collective Soul, which I marked out for because I fucking love that song, and I love grunge. Like anything about grunge or alternative music, I fucking love. So if you can find a way to integrate a song into that, you fucking got me. So that got me. Um, Second band was Hank Williams Jr., which I don't know anything about Hank Williams Jr. I know he's very popular and there's like a lot of references to him in music, but I don't know him. I don't know anything about him. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention while he was performing. I think I was actually watching Pineapple Express on my phone because I had downloaded it because I figured there was going to be part of the concert I really didn't want to see. So that was the part I didn't want to see. So I don't know. No big deal. They go for like an hour, I think, which is fucking wild. Like the opening act maybe got 30 minutes. They went on for an hour. Leonard Skinner comes on. It's fucking awesome. They did really good. They went for like an hour and a half, and I was standing the entire time, as well as everyone else was, which brings me into the first story here. During the Hank Williams Jr. portion of this concert, there was a lot of. Let me preface the story. Or yeah, I think that's the word I meant. I don't fucking know. Let me give you a little backstory here. This crowd is mostly middle-aged, drunk the fuck up American people. Mostly women, but I'm not gonna say there wasn't any men, because there was a lot of men as well. But I think it was mostly middle-aged girls. But fuck, maybe it was half and half. I don't know. Lots of middle-aged drunk Americans, and I tell you, I'm going to make a racist thing right now, and I apologize, but there's only one thing worse than an American, and it's a drunk American. There's only one thing worse than a drunk American, and it's a middle-aged drunk American. There's probably worse things than that, but that's pretty bad. So there's a lot of middle-aged drunk American people here at the Lynyrd Skynyrd concert, and this is during the Hank Williams Jr. part, as I said. There's no one's really standing at first. No, how did that? Maybe people weren't standing during the Hank Williams Jr. thing. I thought they were, but I guess they might not have been, or they might have just not been standing at the first part just because, like, just those are like the I don't know. There was a portion of the Hank Williams Jr. concert. I think people stood up that ended up sitting down, but there's these three people that didn't sit down. There's two girls and a guy. And this caused a deal of drama. They're like, I can't see I can't see the concert. There's this old guy and this old girl. And I think they have their grandchildren with them who are like 16, 17 years old. The older man, he kind of taps the guy on the shoulder, like the guy and the two girls. And he's like, can you guys sit down? I can't see. You figure that's like, a hint that you should fucking sit down and be respectful, And most people would have sat down and been respectful. But he's like, I paid for these fucking seats. I'm not sitting the fuck down. You can stand the fuck up, old man. So they get into a little exchange of words, but nothing happens. They keep standing. The old man's not really having it. There's a girl beside the old man and his wife who has a beer, and she's clearly intoxicated. She's clearly had multiple beers, but she has one, and she decides that she's going to throw it at these people. That's exactly what she does. She throws the beer at the people that are standing up. They're like, what the fuck? You just threw fucking beer at me? And they look back, and they're like, did this bitch just throw fucking beer at me? And anyway, there's an exchange of words for quite some time, and I think it's funny. I'm laughing my ass off back there. This girl that threw the beer ended up getting ejected. Nothing else happened. It was just that one girl was ejected. The old man and the fucking other dude that's with the two girls ended up talking for a little bit, like having an exchange of words face to face. Like they're about to fucking come to blows. And it's great. So that happens. And after that, there wasn't really any drama. Like, it just kind of calmed down a little bit. They didn't fucking sit down the rest of the show, though. Those motherfuckers. I hated that. I could see the stage just fine from where I was sitting, and I was fine with that. But these three people were ruining it for everyone else. And I remember yelling at them one time, you fucking deserve it, like, after they got hit with the beer. I yelled that. Like, you fucking deserve it. Sit the fuck down. Like, don't do that, man. Like, I get it, it's a concert, you want to enjoy. If there's a person behind you of, older than you, sit the fuck down. Like, you can see just fine sitting. Don't stand. Sit down. Let everybody else enjoy the concert, asshole. Um, so that's my little spiel. The Lynyrd Skynyrd performance was fine, as I said. They went for like an hour and a half, standing the entire time. They had a Confederate flag with them, which I thought was a little. Um, it's funny. Whenever I bash the Confederate flag, there's always someone that tries to defend it. It's like, why? I'm not trying to get all political on you here, but I wouldn't be caught dead trying to fucking say the Confederate flag is okay. For everything it stands for, people are like, oh, it's this, and that. And I'm like, oh, no, it's not. It's this, and that. I don't know. I don't care, but whatever. It's Lynyrd Skynyrd. They're fucking as American as it gets. You know, I heard a couple people in the fucking crowd yell, "America, fuck yeah!" It's like, yep, this is American as shit. So that was my concert experience. While in Bangor, I also ended up going to a little shop, which is kind of like a flea market, but it's like a 365 24/7 flea market. Well, not 24/7, but it's open every day. It's like kind of like a flea market. So I love flea markets. Like, I love the vibes. I love everything about flea markets. It's just fucking awesome. Just people selling their shit. And sometimes you find fucking treasures, and that's exactly what I did. I found myself some fucking treasures. So I walk in, and as soon as I walk in, I always look for wrestling stuff. Wrestling and music stuff I always look for. So I look over at this like little area that this guy's running, and I see like a lot of toys. So I'm like, all right, there's probably some good wrestling figures and whatnot in here. So I walk in, I see a big WWF logo. I'm like, oh my god, this is the fucking goods. So I pick it up, and it's like a box of stickers, which I'm like, that's kind of weird. I kind of want that, but it was like $15. So I'm like, ah, shit, probably can't get that. 15 Americans, like 20 Canadian. Like, I don't think I can do that. But I ended up stumbling upon a little box. It was not a little box, like it was a big box. It had 100 packs of WWF wrestling cards. 100 packs. Like, that might not sound like a lot, but that's a lot of card packs. So this guy, he's like, well, it's 50 for the whole box, $1 a pack. Like, alright, that makes sense. I like that deal. If I had 50 American, your boy would have picked that shit up. But I didn't, and my dad had 3 American singles on them, so he's like, here you go, buy 3 packs. And that's exactly what I did. Here, sir, take my money, 3 packs of cards, thanks. So I did a little video unboxing of those cards if you're interested. The link is in the description below. And I'm trying to think of what else I did while in Bangor, Maine. That guy didn't really have anything else of note, really, at the shack there, or like his little area. He had like a signed Mark Henry, and who was Mark Henry's manager? I don't think it was Tony Atlas. I think it was someone else. But it might have been Tony Atlas. But it was like a action figure 2-pack, and it was like signed by both of them. I was like, holy shit. Like, I didn't even check the price because I didn't really want it. But I'm like, that's kind of cool, dude. I like that. What else do we got? Let's look at the script here. I do have a script written. That's what I do. Oh, I forgot a story about the concert. But that kind of leads us into my main event, if you will, which I'm not really ready for yet. I want to announce something right now on the podcast. Lately, I've been posting a lot of videos on this channel, which is great. I love posting videos. I think that's amazing. I've been pretty active as of late, which is awesome. I've even been posting, like, I think last week I posted 3 times. I think I posted Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I mentioned in the podcast last week that I can't keep going like that. I can't keep posting 3 videos a week because I'm busy, and I'm gonna go fucking nuts if that's what I do. So I've decided that I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna stop doing 3 videos a week. I'm gonna keep the podcast, and I'm probably gonna keep the podcast on Wednesdays, although I'm not entirely sure. I might change the date. Nothing's really confirmed there yet, but the podcast is staying. The podcast is not leaving. I'm going to keep the podcast, but I'm thinking I might just start doing the podcast one day and like another video some other day during the week. I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to do, but that's what I'm certainly thinking. So, if you're wondering, I'm not gonna have a lack of videos. I'm still gonna have like 2 videos a week. That's still pretty good. One of them being the podcast. So I don't think there's really anything wrong with that idea, and that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. Nothing's confirmed yet. I'll probably have an update by the next podcast. And with that said, I am not going to be posting another video this week. So there is only going to be one video this week. But for the rest of the weeks coming, I am looking to have 2 videos a week. The only reason I'm not having 2 videos this week is because exams are coming up, so I have to study. Next week is exam week. And after I write the exams in the mornings, I'm going to have time to think of videos. So I'm going to be fine there. I'll be able to do 2 videos next week, probably. Podcast, definitely going to be happening next week. I'll probably just do the podcast next Wednesday, just to be sure. Like, just keep it Wednesday for now. If I'm going to change it, I'll probably have the news for that on the next podcast. Anywho, no video this Friday. 2 videos a week in the future, including the podcast. Alright, I think that means it's time for the main event of the evening. Alright, let's go. As you guys saw, the title of this podcast is It's a Wrestling Thing. And, this hasn't been a really wrestling-themed podcast, but right now I have quite the wrestling story for you, and it involves running into wrestling fans in public. That's what the story is. Running into wrestling fans in public. If you are a wrestling fan, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not, let me inform you. Running into wrestling fans in public is probably one of the most awkward experiences you can have, depending on the wrestling fan. I have tons of these experiences, tons and tons and tons of them, which I'm going to be getting into right now. I didn't write a script for this, so I'm kind of just going to be running off what's in my head, but I do have a bunch in my head. So let's start way back in, I think it was like 3 years ago at this point. 2 or 3 years ago, me and my friends are walking through the St. John Mall. And I'm wearing a New Day shirt. I'm pretty sure I had a faux hawk back then too. So we're just walking through the mall. I think we're coming from EB Games. And I'm wearing a New Day shirt, as I said. Like the blue New Day shirt with all the members on it. Not the Bootios shirts, before Bootios. Or before, I didn't have that shirt. I think Bootios was definitely a thing at that point, but I didn't have the shirt. So I'm wearing a New Day shirt. And this guy, he's walking by and he yells, "New Day!" And, when someone yells a wrestling reference at you and you don't see it coming, it really catches you off guard. And it really caught me off guard. So instead of doing like, "New Day" back, I was like, yeah. That's literally how I responded. And my friends still make fun of me to this very day every now and again. I was like, yeah. Like, I thought it was awesome, but I didn't, I wasn't marking out for it. I'm sure that guy probably felt embarrassed, but I don't know. What would I do nowadays in that situation? I couldn't tell you, because it all depends on the situation, because if you're not expecting it, it really does fuck you up. It really does catch you off guard. So, that was an experience I had. Probably 2 or 3 years ago as well, I used to go to another story in Maine, I guess. But this one's to do with the Walmart in Calais, Maine. My family goes like grocery shopping in Maine because it's just cheaper and whatnot. Or I don't even know if it's cheaper, but they say it is. But I don't know. With the exchange rates and all that shit, it's probably not. But we still do. We go to Calais for groceries every now and again. And was like a couple weeks straight where there was this guy working the Sunday day shift, and I wore a wrestling shirt there one day, and he's like, "Oh man, Dean Ambrose!" Like I was wearing like the Dean Ambrose shirt, and I was like, "Hell yeah!" And he's like, "Man, I spot that shirt from a mile away," and I was like, "That's awesome, dude." And we started talking about wrestling. I told him about how I was like training and shit, so he's like, "Ah, that's awesome, dude." And whatever. I walked on. I kept doing my own thing. So, the next week, I come in with a fucking, what shirt did I have on that day? I think I had like the fucking Lucha Dragon shirt on, because I had that shirt, and I think I was wearing it. I think I was wearing the Lucha Dragon shirt. He's like, "Oh man, Lucha Dragons!" I'm like, "Yeah, Lucha Dragons." He's like, "Man, I wouldn't miss that shirt from a mile away." And I was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, man, you must have a lot of wrestling shirts. I was like, yeah, that's pretty much all I wear, that and band shirts. And we start talking again, and then the conversation ends, and it's like, well, all right, gonna keep doing my own thing. A couple weeks later, I come in. I don't know what shirt I'm wearing. I'm probably wearing like a Daniel Bryan shirt, let's say. He's like, oh man, Daniel Bryan, nice shirt. I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool. We have a conversation. I do my own thing. That was the last time I saw him. I saw him like every once in a while, but like, I haven't really seen him since then. So I don't know, maybe he doesn't work there. He worked there. I don't know if I told you guys that, but he works there. I haven't seen him lately at all, but it's funny shit. Like, running into the same guy over and over and over again. And as I said, running into a wrestling fan really fucks you up. So it's like, the first time was weird, second time was weird, but like, alright. Third time was like, how the fuck do I keep running into this guy? So, running into people outside of, like, running into wrestling fans in public is weird. Lately, it's been different. That was like 2 or 3 years ago. It was all like WWE shit. Nowadays, it's all about AEW. Like, it's fucking nuts. I was in... There's actually 2 times I ran into wrestling fans this past weekend in Bangor, Maine. First was in the Hot Topic in Maine. I go to look at the shirts. All AEW shirts. There's like maybe 2 or 3 WWE shirts, but it's mostly AEW. I think there's at least 7 AEW designs, which is crazy because WWE shirts used to go there and they used to sell like maybe 5. AEW's got fucking like 7, dude. Like, they're killing it in Hot Topic. So I'm looking. I'm probably not gonna buy anything because I don't have any money, but I'm just looking. Some guy comes up to me, he's like, hey man, I see you're wearing... I was wearing the fucking Cody Rhodes fucking... the Cody Rhodes shirt, like the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, like his first shirt after he left WWE. He's like, I see you like Bullet Club. I see you like not Bullet Club. What the fuck am I thinking? I see you like All Elite. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, did you see Double or Nothing? I'm like, I didn't see it. No, but I heard it was pretty good. So we started having a little conversation about that. He takes out his phone and starts showing me pictures. I'm like, that's kind of weird. I don't know why you just have pictures of Double or Nothing saved on your phone, but I digress. That's fine. So he's showing me pictures of like Dustin versus Cody, which I thought was cool. I was like, yeah, I haven't seen it. I should probably check it out. I was like, yeah, man, I'd suggest it. I'm telling you, man, Cody versus Dustin is gonna be match of the year. You mark my words. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. Sounds pretty good. So later that night, I'm still wearing my Cody Rhodes American Nightmare shirt. We're at the Lynyrd Skynyrd concert, and this drunk dude comes up to me, and I hate drunk people. I said that, but I really do. I'm just trying to get that point across. I really hate drunk people. And drunk Americans, as I said, are the worst. So, this dude, he's drunk as shit. He comes up to me stumbling, and I'm hoping he doesn't, like, say anything, but he starts, like, tapping me on the chest because he sees I'm wearing the Cody shirt. He's fucking plastered. He's out of his fucking mind drunk. I can smell it on him. So he reaches in for a hug. And I'm like, what do you do in this situation? A drunk man is trying to hug me. What do? I hug him. What else are you going to do? Like, I'm not going to make fuck off. Because, a lot of people would do that. But I'm not that kind of guy. I'm going to hug him. I like hugging people. I'll hug him. I gave him a hug. He went off. Probably get another beer. But, oh my god, man. In any other fandom, this wouldn't make sense, but I'll tell you guys, it's a wrestling thing. Look at me coming full circle. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for the show this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave a comment, subscribe for more, and click the bell icon for the love of God. If you're on SoundCloud, I'm sure you can like it and follow me, all that jazz. Anyways, this is In the Meantime. I've been your host, Joel Watson.